843 TV, where the Low Country comes to speak.
.843 TV, where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV. We are here in downtown Beaufort at the Chamber of Commerce, and we're talking with the folks at Bridges Prep, and we have some new board members in place, and they're going to be sharing a little bit from their perspective today. Dave and Tom, welcome. Good to have you guys today.
Good to see you too.
So as we mentioned, there's some new members on the board. Let's talk about the changeover, and you two share a little bit about your background.
Sure. Tom and I have both been on the board for the last year, but this is our first time serving as officers. I'm the chair and Tom's the vice chair. Mm-hmm. Tom also handles a lot of our facilities, along with the previous board chair, Dee, and Marty, who were the chair and vice chair. They're still very much involved in the construction, so it's been a very smooth transition. We have all hands on deck as we prepare to have all of our students in one campus and get everything done with the construction. And yeah, so we've got some new blood on the board, and they're very excited. We've got lots of willing participants. We've got a great team that's really focused on doing a superb job in enabling our staff and teachers to get done what they need to get done.
I think that fresh set of eyes can be really important. Now, I understand that you guys had a retreat recently. Why don't you share with us what the opportunities you see coming up for the board in the near future?
Well, our retreat is our yearly board training, which you have to do every year as a board member. As far as opportunities, let me just start off with the new board. I'm excited with the new board because there's a lot of different faces now. The folks that fell off the board that either didn't run or got voted out, they were all outstanding people, and I'm still friends with all of them. And when you're Bridges, you're Bridges for life. You stick with the school even when you're off. You still want to help out and do everything you can. As far as changes, pretty much the big thing we're looking at now is the building, and try and get the whole school under one roof. Once that's done, we're going to possibly look into some athletic fields and move from there. With our new head of school coming up, coming in July, we're really excited about him too. We think it's a great start to we're getting a new building, a new head of school, and it's a real good push forward for us.
And on that note, Mr. McCullough is going to be the new head of school. He comes to you with great credentials and a lot of background in education. He's going to be working with Dr. Sherry Herbst on some initiatives. Tell us about what they'll be focusing on first.
Sure. Dr. Herbst is our current interim head of school, and Gary McCullough, as you mentioned, he'll be our upcoming head of school. And I think we've really got a winning team right there. They're working very closely together to make sure that everything Sherry does is coherent with what Gary wants to do whenever he arrives. And the most important thing that we can do as the board is to hire the right person as the head of school in order to enable our faculty and our staff to really reach out to our students. So I think that the most important thing we did was we hired a tremendous person in Gary. He's been runner-up for Principal of the Year. He was one of the candidates for the Beaufort County Superintendent position. So he's a highly qualified, great person, and we're super excited to have him come on, and we're doing everything we can to be prepared and to make sure that the steps we're currently taking will enable him to come in and make a tremendous difference right off the bat and build on the work that we've already done and that our previous heads of schools have done.
Knowing Gary, he's got a lot of energy, so that's going to carry over to
I'm very excited about that.
So it's wonderful to hear all of these exciting things that are happening, the positive changes, but there's got to be some challenges that you all are facing. What are some of the long-term challenges that you feel that the school has?
I think the key challenge is that we don't have everyone together in one campus currently. So I really take my hats off to the parents and the students who've stuck with us as they've had to go to different locations, especially the parents that have students in multiple locations, and they've really, it says something about Bridges that they've been able to stick with us while doing different pickups and drop-offs at different schools at different times.
And that's got to be hard, especially in your morning routine, dropping a kid on one side of town, driving to the other side of town, dropping your other child off, It's got to be hard on them, and it takes time out of your day.
It is. I've lived that for many years, for sure, and so it is challenging for sure. So you've got committed parents, by all means.
Right. So I think that the biggest challenge is to make sure that we get everything done with the building on time in order to get that all done. And the other, like I said, our biggest challenge as a board is always to find the best head of school, and we've met that one. So everything after that is really easy compared to finding the best person. And I'm so happy with that decision that we have Gary coming on, that everything else just seems like a cakewalk compared to getting because putting the right person in the right spot is
Though
really
I do have to
important.
laugh. I very rarely hear the phrase building and on time in the same sentence. I applaud you guys for really pushing that to move forward.
You mentioned cake, but I heard that there's some festival with shrimp. You want to talk about that?
Yes, our PTO, who is a wonderful PTO, they actually do presents like each month for our teachers and stuff. So the teacher will walk in a room and there'll be a present sitting on their desk from the PTO.
Oh.
Just, we're thankful for what they do for the kids. They have a Shrimp and Grits Festival, which is March 9th. It starts at 12 o'clock. It's a free event. There's rides for the kids, and you can get the judges pass and try all the different shrimp and grits, which is always, which is always a good move.
She's coming. I'm in.
So it's in downtown Port Royal on Paris Avenue, and Port Royal's done a wonderful job for us every year with our shrimp and grits, hosting it there.
That's great. Great. And what is that? What is there a specific thing or a specific focus as to why that's happening?
That's kind of one of our PTO's fundraisers, and then what they do once they get their profits from that, they turn around and they donate it to the school for different things. I believe the first year they donated it for a media center because they want to get more books in there and more computers and stuff. And
Got it.
I believe that came in around $25,000.
Wow.
So it's a pretty good jump start to us. And now I believe this year they were talking about you can always use a new bus.
There you go.
So now I think they want to go ahead and start the bus fund for us, and every little bit helps.
That's great. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. And stick around. We're going to learn a lot more about Bridges Prep here on 843 TV.
Welcome back to 843 TV, where we're learning all about the exciting things happening at Bridges Prep. And joining us now is Dr. Sherry Herbst. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Well, last time we were here, we talked about things, and now a lot of improvement has happened. The new campus, you've broken ground. I know that's got to be really exciting for so many at different levels. Share with us the status of where things are.
Well, as of right now, last week we've received back our letter to proceed, which gives the contractor 365 days to complete the project. We're right now doing the first phase of the building, which will be our middle school and our high school, along with possibly a multi-use field. There may even possibly be a gym involved if funds are available. Other than that, as of right now, we've got the forms up for the footers, and we're moving forward with the hood construction through our USRDA loan. Pretty much once the forms are done, then USDA will come out and check it. We have a resident inspector who comes out and looks at everything, and that's their eyes of the project so they can see progress and stuff like that.
And for those who may be watching for the first time, don't know a lot about Bridges Prep, share with us exactly where the new campus is located.
The new campus is off of Highway 170, pretty much across, as everybody says, across from the water tower. And it's right offside the road there. There is actually a fire station right near us now. But yeah, we just bought some land. I believe we bought 20-some acres, and we're moving forward from there.
Being across from the water tower, that's actually kind of has a ring to it. I like that. Now, the nearby or the students that are in upper school, how are they dealing with the construction and all those things that are going on?
So I'll give you a little bit of a visual because this happens to me as well. When you drive in Bridges, the first thing you see are the signs, so that's really exciting. And then you see the construction site, it's fenced off, and you turn the corner and then you see where the school buildings are being built, and then their learning building that they have now. So each day when they come in, they see a little more progress, and that's really exciting for them. I've talked to a few of them about how actual construction is impacting them. And really the building that we have for their learning environment now is so great that you can't hear any of the noise that's outside. So it's pretty much they go inside and they take their classes, but they come out and oftentimes you'll see them with their elbows on the rail of the steps that come up, just kind of looking out, watching and talking about, can't believe we're gonna be seniors next year and actually have a building. So
they're going to be part of an inaugural group. I'm sure it's exciting for them to watch this unfold, quite literally.
It is.
Now, the enrollment at Bridges has really grown extensively over the course of time here. Tell us about how the current layout is spread out between Ladies Island and the other locations.
Well, right now on Ladies Island is where we have the kindergarten through 2nd grade. And then on Boundary Street, which is near downtown Beaufort, you have 3rd grade through 7th grade. And then the site of our new school is where we temporarily have the 8th grade through 12th grade. And then once we get the structures built for the high school and middle school, as Tom described, and then those folks will move into those permanent facilities, and then the elementary kids will still to be seen which one of our other 2 buildings they'll stay in while their building gets finished. And what will happen is we'll apply for a loan and commence construction on that towards the end of the current construction of the middle school and the high school.
So the plans are to eventually have everybody under one roof or on one site.
Yes,
correct.
Any idea what timeline you might be looking at for that to kind of come full circle?
Well, overall, loose timeline would be we would really like to have the middle and the high school done by January of next year, possibly shift them in, end of January, February, and then we would actually move our modulars we have now and start phase 2, which would be our elementary school. Once we get everybody, that'll probably take another 6 to 8 months, so hopefully not this coming year, but the school year for would be 2021. Hopefully we'll have everybody under one roof.
Yeah, well, that's exciting. So about a year away from the upper school, going
and
to action, and then go from there. So if I'm a parent, which I am, actually I have 3 kids in the public school system, and I'm looking around and trying to assess, there are a lot of options today in charter schools and private schools. What is some things that you would share with me as to help me make a decision on why choose Bridges Prep?
Well, I think that Bridges is one of several options available to parents, and we happen to live in a community that does give parents lots of different options for public education, and they each one have their own characteristics. I think the 2 key characteristics of Bridges are the PADEA-centered education and the STEM focus, and that's science, technology, engineering, and math. Maybe Dr. Earps can talk a little bit more about the PADEA-centered, which is something I really believe in, but she's much more knowledgeable on that.
Sure. Well, a lot of parents are drawn to Bridges because we advertise our PADEA teaching methodology on our website and in some of our brochures. And the interesting thing about that is that through the PADEA teaching methodology, we try to even the playing field. So we're giving every child not the same amount of education, but the same quality of education. So through seminars and inquiry and questioning, the students are able to be able to voice their opinions, listen to other people's opinions, and we're helping them prepare for life in a democratic society so that they can participate. Once they get out of school, they can participate in their communities and in the world. And a lot of times we see that some of the things that are discussed in our PADEA seminars are actually brought home to the table and in your relationships with people at home and on the playground. And also as far as the STEM goes, the coached project is part of the PADEA methodology, and teachers who use the coach project can incorporate a lot of STEM activities into those PADEA coached projects.
Well, we have a lot to learn more about Bridges Prep, and we don't want you to take their word for it, so we're going to be hearing from a teacher and a student coming up next on 843 TV. welcome back to 843 TV. We're learning all about Bridges Prep and the exciting things happening there. And joining us now is one of their students, Miss Savannah Hardy, and one of the teachers on staff, Miss Casey Chukta. And we're going to be hearing some inside information here. So Savannah, tell us about you, what grade you're in, and how long you've been at the school.
Right now I'm in 5th grade, and I've been with Bridges since kindergarten. And my experiences just have been wonderful. I've been able to make a lot of friends. I like the learning, especially the science, because we get to do a lot more fun projects. The teachers are really nice that go here, so yeah.
Well, great. And we're going to get back to you in a minute and talk about special program you're in, but let's talk with you and tell us about how long you've been at the school, a little bit about your teaching background.
I've been teaching for 20 years. I'm a middle school math teacher by trade. I got my master's in gifted and talented education in 2007, and I've been with Bridges since we opened the doors, and I love it, and I can't imagine being anywhere else. This year, a change of job placement came about, and I am the gifted and talented coordinator and teacher at Bridges. So, and Savannah's one of my students.
Now, we're talking and understand you have some siblings at the school and maybe some other family members.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
I have 2 sisters that go to the school right now. My oldest one in 7th grade, my youngest one in 1st. And my mom currently is a 5th grade teacher right by my classroom.
Well, that's cool. So you can kind of be with your family during the day and after school too. Well,
Yes.
that's really neat. So we mentioned the gifted and talented program. That's what we're going to focus on now. Tell us a little bit more about how that works.
There are 2 ways in South Carolina for a student to be identified.
Okay.
In 2nd grade, all students take the COGAT cognitive abilities test and the Iowa test. And if they score on the 96th percentile, they're automatically, in verbal or nonverbal, they're automatically labeled as gifted. And after that, if they score on the 93rd percentile, then they're flagged to take a STAR performance test that we'll offer the end of February, the beginning of March. Or there are 3 ways to get in after that. You have to be on 2 of the 3, so either COGAT, or a nationally normed, which is PASS, or SC Ready, or MAP, if you score at the 94th percentile, and then the STAR test. So any 2 of those 3 get you into the gifted and talented program. And then we serve 3rd graders for 2.5 hours a week, 4th and 5th graders for 3.5 hours a week, and each grade level is separate. And it's great. We love it. We have our own little classroom area, and we do a lot of hands-on projects. We got to participate this year. Our unit is Go Green, and high interest for kids. And it's in the news all the time. It's in their families. The plastic bag ban was perfectly timed for this. And we got to participate in the first ever Port Royal Sound recycled art competition. Each grade level entered a piece, and so Savannah was a part of that. They created it, they designed it, they wrote about it, and then we got to go out and see 100 entries that were there. And
So it sounds like there's opportunities that go beyond the classroom in
oh
this
yeah.
program.
In fact, what are we doing next Friday? What are we doing? What's our culminating activity?
We're doing a Go Green Assembly, and we're going to talk about upcoming events, why you should recycle, what happens if you don't recycle, and we're going to just have fun.
Share a couple things that you like most that you're involved in with the program.
I really like how we get hands-on, we get to do activities, and the group that I get to work in with GT, it's just wonderful, and we get to build off of each other. So we get to share ideas, we get to learn more, and then when we come home, we could share other people's ideas and explain things to our parents.
Yeah, so a lot of good table conversation.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
you get to take that home with your family that's already there at school. Dr. Herb, let's talk to you a little bit now about the Strong Arts program that is there at the school.
Yes, ma'am. We have a VPA association, so that's a visual and performing arts. Ms. Chukta also has a key role in that. We have through band, music, and art have come together to create and drama have come together to create this great experience for the students. And I'll let Miss Chakta talk a little bit about that, because she has she's directing the upcoming play that is about to kick off.
We have our 3rd through 7th graders have a daily opportunity to participate in drama, music, art, Spanish, computer ed, and PE, yeah, of course. And so the creative thinking that comes out of that is where critical thinking comes, and critical thinking is certainly the primary goal for education. So Jungle Book, we're doing the Jungle Book, loosely based on Rudyard Kipling's famous short story. And there are 65 3rd through 7th graders who have speaking roles. And the performance is February 13th and 14th, 7 o'clock at our main campus on Boundary. $10 for general admission, and we'll have priority seating at $20. And we're raising money so that we can continue with this. This is our 4th full-scale production.
So it's a great opportunity for those to be introduced to the campus or to the school who might not know.
Open to the community.
So bring your guests, bring your friends, and reach out. And
this year, for the first time, we're doing 2 productions. In April, the upper school is going to take on Thornton Wilder's Pulitzer Prize winning Our Town. It's a 3-act drama. So that'll be April 10th and 11th. Whatever the Wednesday and Thursday. So that's coming up too.
Well, real quick, before we wrap up, Savannah, is there anything you want to share with anyone listening about something else that you love about Bridges?
With the Jungle Book, we get to express our inside self, and we get to learn more about what people like, how they are, and may even just learn how good of a friend they could be. Even if you're not in their grade, you could really make new friends, and you could cooperate with other people, not knowing that they were like this all along.
That's a great thing. I'm glad you pointed that out, because it's a very important life lesson, is for sure. Yes. So thank you all for sharing so much about Bridges Prep, and thank you all for watching this episode of 843 TV, where communities come to speak.